here's the video review, the first video review of some Kamen Rider Drive merchandise. I don't know how much I'm going to get into. Like, this time I don't intend to get into the roleplay stuff. I might grab a shift car set if there's a shift car I really like, but I don't intend to get the driver or the shift brace or the belt, or, you know, well, like I said, it's all the same thing. I just said the same thing 4 times. But the figures, like, I'll probably get the Tri-Run just because it comes with one of the tires for this guy, and I'll grab some of the tire sets. But like, I'm going to stick with, like, toys I can play with versus some of the role-play stuff. Unless something crazy comes down that I just have to have. I reserve that right to decide I want that. But for right now, my intent is not to get the belt or any of that stuff. But so here's Drive in his main form, Type Speed. His original form, this is TK-01, Tire Koken, right there on the thing, Tire Change 01. And it comes in what is a variation on the standard gimmick figure line packaging with the window and the action figure box. And then on the back, you can see more about it. Like here, it looks like the Midnight Shadow tire comes with the Tri-Run. And then the TK-02, Tire Koken 02 set, is just going to be 3 tires, it looks like. It's going to be Funky Spike, Massive Monster, and Justice Hunter. We've seen all of those on the show, at least briefly, with the exception of Massive Monster, but he'll probably be showing up soon, seeing he's in the next set. But just, you know, standard packaging there for this guy. So here's his Type Speed, which gives him the speed tire, which is just the standard basic racing tire with the red stripe. I kind of like the idea of it as a sash. It does look really silly from the side. It's like it's just a dude. Looks like a dude got stuck in a tire, which is kind of silly. But it does spin around him, and you know, in the show, you can do ramping attacks with the tires, which is kind of cool. He's got the driver on his waist. So a little shift car holder over here on the side of his thing, and he does have the shift brace with an unpainted shift car in it, and a little kind of shiny grill, kneecaps. I do like his helmet design. I have nothing else about Drive. I really like the helmet design with the shiny visor and the spoiler up on top of his head. I think that's kind of silly. He's got the standard articulation of, you know, the gimmick line. He's got the ball joint shoulders, a ball jointed neck. It's not ball joint, it's universal shoulders, it looks like. Maybe that's a ball joint. I can't tell. I can't get his arms up enough to see. Maybe that is a ball joint up in there. Because it looks like it may be universal because it's got a slot. But if you look into it, it looks like there may actually be a ball joint up into the shoulder. A universal head, if not a full ball joint. Oh, it actually is. There we go. Just pop right off. It's a ball joint. Bicep swivel. He actually has a swivel here below the elbow as well, which is neat. He's got the both a bicep swivel and a below the elbow swivel. He's got the swivel elbows, swivel wrists, and his fingers. Are they in 2 separate? Yeah, they are in 2 separate chunks like previous versions, where you can get the first 2 fingers and the second 2 fingers are separate pieces. On the hinge there, he does have a waist swivel, no ab crunch or anything, obviously due to the gimmick. Universal shoulder or universal hips, a thigh swivel, single hinge knee, and then ball joints there at the ankles. So you can get a pretty dynamic bit of motion out of him, despite being a little simpler than, you know, some of the figure arts or Revoltex or other things we've been reviewing lately. So there's Kamen Rider Drive in speed form. This set also comes with the Max Flare tire, which, as you might expect, gives him fire powers. It's hard to see, but like on this tire and this tire, like the Max Flare logo is actually, you can kind of see it right there in the plastic. And stuff. And to do that, you actually split. In the show, the tires just kind of go and like magically jump onto him, and he's kind of got like a groove there in his chest plate when he doesn't have, you know, in between tires. For the toy, you actually pop them apart right here and put the tire on. Now, there is a right way to do them. You can kind of see an octagonal cutout in there. That's not on this side. This side is smooth and flat. Here, you can see the screws, and then you can kind of see an octagonal cutout in there, and that's going to fit over this lock. So swap out the tires, you just swap them out like that, snap them back together, and now he's got the Max Flare tire on. And it's not just translucent orange. That is a really cool translucent orange. You know how I feel about orange. But also, if you get your fingernail in there, and I'm kind of going to use my pinky nail, you can flip out the little flames / blades on the tire. This gives him a little, you can shoot fire powers with this tire, obviously, as the name would. Plus, I think I said that already. Just a babbling weirdo tonight. It's been a long day. There's been a lot of just serious stuff going on in the real world today. So, but But yeah, so then now he's got the flares on the max flare. And again, that also spins around his chest. So the funky spike is the one I've seen him use the most in both the opening credits and the first episode. I would say the most. There's only been 2 episodes, and funky spike was only in one of them. But you know, that's the one that he tends to grab people and grind on them with. All of this does spin around his body. This one, like I said, this one shoots out the flame bursts. But you can spin the tire, and you can do it with a speed tire too. Although when it's a solid black tire, it's a little harder to notice the spin. But with this, you can clearly see the spinny gimmick there, which is neat. And you can fold that up and swap him back to type speed. And again, he'll flip out. Like I said, the Midnight Shadow tire comes with the Trideron, and then the second set comes with the Funky Spike, Massive Monster, and Justice Hunter tires. I kind of want that. I want the Funky Spike and Justice Hunter tires. I really want the Midnight Shadow tire because it's a really cool translucent purple that folds out into a shuriken. But of course, that one has to come with the big car, which means they're probably going to include some of these things with stuff I don't want, just to get me to buy it for the tires. Because that's kind of what well, I guess that was accessories for the belt. But I remember Forza did that a lot. They'd be like, you need this gimmick thing too. And that's the only way to get one of the 40 switches if you want the fancy sticker. And I was a sucker for fancy stickers. So yeah, it's not quite Gime's orange. Oh, you know what? I have Gime here. Give me 1 second. I'll go get Gime and I'll show you how he compares to the Arms Change series. All right, and lickety-split, here is the Arms Change Gime. You see he's a little taller, although to be fair, like, if we're going by Kota's actual size, anybody would be taller, because Kota was very short. At least the actor was. But there he is next to Kamen Rider Gime, the Arms Change 01, AC01 Gime. Just to give you an idea of where he fits. He's a little, like I said, he's a little taller. And again, a more coherent figure overall, just because the armor is not like an extra piece that folds out and transforms. It's just a tire that plugs into him. But yeah, just to give you an idea, they'll team up in the next movie coming out, and apparently in that movie, Drive will get a type fruit. I'm curious to see what that looks like. Maybe they'll make a figure of that, because type fruit sounds silly. But yeah, there's just the two of them together. Movie Wars, Movie Tyson going on there. But yeah, that's the TK-01 Kamen Rider Drive type speed with the Max Flare tire from the new show, Kamen Rider Drive. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about the show. The first episode, I was like, okay, I see what they're doing here. I don't know how I feel about it, but I see what they're doing. The second episode, I really kind of warmed up to it. I don't know if it's not grabbing me as immediately as Gime did, or even Forza. But I'm liking it enough now. I'm going to stick with it a little longer than I thought, and it might get good, because I'm starting to like some of the stuff they're setting up. So we'll see how that goes. But there it is, TK-01 Tire Koken Kamen Rider Drive type speed.